The universe we live in, it's not just big and old, it's weird. Profoundly strange. From things happening right in our own backyard, our solar system, to the very rules that make reality tick, we are constantly finding out that what we think we know is just a tiny, tiny sliver of what's actually possible. It's a universe where the line between sci-fi and actual science is getting blurrier every single day. So here's where we're headed. We're going to start with some cosmic curiosities right in our solar system. Then we'll zoom in on life itself, some unbelievable creatures that live on the absolute edge. After that, get ready to expand your mind with theories that could break reality before we finally get to the bizarre quantum rules that might just make all this weirdness work. Now, when you think about huge astronomical discoveries, you probably picture these giant billion-dollar telescopes, right? And teams of scientists and lab coats. But the universe is a huge place. And honestly, sometimes the most incredible finds aren't made by the pros, but by people just like you and me with a passion for looking up at the night sky. So it really makes you ask the question, who's really out there spotting the new, the strange, the unexplained? You might think it's always the professionals with the fancy equipment, but the answer is actually so much more exciting. And it proves that really anyone can make a discovery that changes everything. Okay, get this. Back in 2012, some at-home stargazers noticed something just bizarre. It was this massive plume, a huge cloud high up in the Martian atmosphere that just shouldn't have been there. It totally stumped the professional scientists. They now think it was probably caused by a huge solar storm hitting the upper atmosphere, which is a massive clue, because that's exactly the kind of thing that might have stripped Mars of its atmosphere billions of years ago. And then there's PH1. This thing is straight out of a movie. It was discovered by a group of amateurs, and it's a planet that orbits 2 suns. But wait, it gets better. That entire system is then being orbited by a second pair of stars. We're talking about a stable planet in a 4-sun system, something a lot of people thought was just impossible. And this one just shows you how fast things can change out there. In 2010, pictures taken by amateur astronomers showed that one of Jupiter's famous red stripes had just gone, vanished. It's a perfect reminder that even the planets we think we know so well can still surprise us. And sometimes it's the dedicated people watching from their backyards who see it happen first. So, okay, our solar system is packed with cosmic weirdness. We get it. But what about life itself? If we're hoping to find life on other planets, maybe the first place we should look is right here, at the absolute toughest, most resilient creatures on Earth. Organisms that love to live where we once thought life was impossible. And these organisms have a name, extremophiles. It literally means lovers of the extreme. And boy, do they live up to it. They don't just survive, they thrive in environments that would kill us in an instant. Scorching heat, crushing pressure, even deadly radiation. And just look at the sheer range of what they can handle. You've got thermophiles living in water that's hotter than boiling. You have psychrophiles that are perfectly happy in sub-zero ice. And then you have acidophiles that live in stuff as acidic as battery acid. Come on. It completely rewrites the rules for where life can even exist. All right, let's meet the undisputed champion of survival, the tardigrade. People also call it the water bear. And this little microscopic creature is the master of extremes. It can basically hit pause on life, entering this state of suspended animation that lets it survive temperatures near absolute zero and heat way above boiling. It can take pressure 6 times greater than the deepest ocean trench. And yeah, it's even survived being exposed to the vacuum and radiation of outer space. And this isn't just something that happens in a lab or in some far-off, exotic place. The vibrant red color you're seeing in these salt ponds, that's from halophiles, salt-loving microbes. They are thriving in water so salty it would kill just about anything else. The fact that life can just flourish like this totally redefines where we might start looking for it out there in the universe. Okay, so we've seen weird planets and even weirder life. But now let's take it a step further. Let's move from what we've actually seen to what some of the world's top physicists are seriously, and I mean seriously, considering. We are talking about theories that challenge the very nature of our reality. First up, the simulation theory. And yeah, the idea is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. That everything we know, the stars, this planet, you, me, it's not the real reality. It's an unbelievably advanced computer simulation. It sounds like pure science fiction, but it's a real hypothesis that philosophers and physicists are taking seriously, and they're actually trying to figure out ways we could test for it. Of course, it's impossible to even talk about this without that iconic line from The Matrix popping into your head. But what's truly mind-bending is that some evidence is starting to show up from theoretical physics that suggests this might be more than just a really good movie plot. And here is where it gets really, really strange. A physicist named S. James Gates was working on these super complex equations for string theory, the math that tries to describe the fabric of our universe. And buried deep inside those equations, he found something that it looks like computer code. To be specific, it looked like an error-correcting code, the kind of program that fixes glitches in data. Finding the digital signature of a web browser inside the math that governs reality it's unsettling. And the weirdness just keeps coming. Another theory that comes straight out of quantum mechanics is the many worlds theory. It basically suggests that every time a quantum event has more than one way it can go, the universe splits. Every single possibility plays out, each one in its own brand new parallel universe. So yeah, there's a universe where you made the other choice. So how can any of this stuff be possible? Disappearing stripes on Jupiter? Simulated realities? What's the deal? The answer is hidden in the fundamental rulebook of the universe. To understand the weirdness on the big scale, we have to go to the really, really small scale, to the world of quantum mechanics. So when you zoom way in on reality, past atoms to the subatomic particles inside them, everything changes. The nice, predictable rules of physics that work for baseballs and planets, they just break down. At the quantum level, the universe isn't solid and certain. It's fuzzy, it's based on probabilities, and it's governed by a set of rules that are completely bizarre to our everyday experience. So, this is the first big rule, superposition. What it means is that a quantum particle, like an electron, doesn't really have to be in one specific place until we actually look at it. Instead, it just exists as this fuzzy cloud of all the possibilities at once.
Here's an easy way to think about it. Imagine a swinging pendulum. Before you stop it, you can't really say it's on the left or on the right. In a way, its reality is the entire arc of its swing. Superposition is just the quantum version of that. A particle isn't here or there. Its reality is a wave of all the places it could be, all at the same time.
Okay, now for the second rule, and this one is maybe even stranger. It's called entanglement. You can link two particles together so that their fates are completely intertwined. And no matter how far apart they get, across the room or across the entire galaxy, what happens to one instantly, and I mean instantly, affects the other. Okay, here's a simple way to picture it. Imagine you have two special coins that are linked together. You give one to a friend who goes to the other side of the planet. You both flip them at the exact same time. If yours lands on heads, you know for a fact that your friend's just landed on tails. That's entanglement. The particles are linked in this perfectly opposite way, and the moment you check one, you instantly know the state of the other. And all of this, it just brings us back to one final thought. We live in a universe where everyday people can discover planets with 4 suns, where tiny creatures can survive the vacuum of space, where our whole reality might just be a simulation, and where the fundamental rules allow for things to be in 2 places at once. If this is the foundation our universe is built on, what else is really out there? What else is possible?